let's get on with our next comedian. He is mentally ill, and we think that's a good thing. Say hello to Phil McCahill.
Get better at working the mic stand. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
I want to bring up something a little near and dear and quite traumatic to me. And that's the crisis, the shortage. That there's a shortage of Adderall going on in this country, that this is real. Oh, you guys have heard about this?
It sucks.
It sucks, it's real. There's 2 of the 3 companies that were making the Adderall. Now, one of them is not anymore because of some bullshit regulation, but the point is that there are people out there like myself that are unmedicated and running wild through the streets. And sure, they can say is it abuse? Is it medication? Why can't it be both? You know, that's what America is about. It's a choice, because you can have all things at all times to all people. Somebody said that, right? Abraham Lincoln, all things, all Adderall to all people. One, see what happens, give it to them. Don't let them work for it. Let's see what happens if the school children do better on it. Maybe they will. Maybe their grades will go up. Let them keep taking it. Don't take it away from them. Don't give them a bullshit excuse. You know, I'm actually advocating myself for the spokesperson for the Adderall crisis. So I can go out there and I can act like a fucking asshole and annoy the shit out of people for a while. Just as you know, that's what ADD people do. They'll just come at you with like, hey, what you doing? Hey, you know cows have 4 udders? Hey, did you know that? Hey. No, they'll push you into a tree or something. Yes, he did that to me tonight.
Yes, I did!
It's my buddy Diz. It's a very special night for him. It's the last night before he goes on house arrest.
Yes!
And I know house arrest is important to me. Oh, we're all sociopaths here. We should clap for that. Any one of you could be put on house arrest for a damn good reason.
That's right!
And if you don't think you have a reason, we'll frame you for a reason, because we're the Brooklyn Box Company.
We will!
We love you. What else what was I going to talk about? Oh, you know how like I like to be able to rather than count my life in the amount of money that I've made, because it ain't shit. I like to do it as interesting stories and valuable lessons I've learned, and that's what I make up my reality. Like recently, I've learned that well, you know how child stars have like the best lives ever. Well, that's not true, because I had a recovering child actress on my couch for a good 2 months, and whatever her name would be, you know, we can just let that part go. But I mean, eventually it had to end when I had to chase her out of the house with a megaphone, screaming, "If I find you here when I get back, I will use this megaphone on you and chase you into the street." I mean, that was only because she was throwing macaroni at my walls because she got mad. That's like me filling up the ashtray with ketchup. That's not okay. And then it was there 6 days later. And I'm like, listen, macaroni whore, this is not acceptable for you to be doing this shit to me. 6 days. I could only call her macaroni whore because she made jokes about it and she works as a stripper. So you can call her these things. It's okay. People pay good money for that. Just not at my house. Not at my house, sir. You can. That is not an interesting story for me anymore, and it's more valuable lesson that you know, anyone that has the term crazy before their name, you know, such as crazy
so-and-so.
Yeah, crazy so-and-so or shady so-and-so. You can't let them get within arm's reach. You know, you really shouldn't. Because there was a coup, a power struggle that tried to take place in the second month where she began telling people that I was kicking out of the house, that they can come back because it's her place now. And I've got to readjust because I'm just the guy on the couch. And these messages were going out and I'm like, wow, that's a special kind of crazy. Because I like to think I'm crazy. And I play it up a lot of times for the character. And it's fun because sometimes people don't know how crazy you are and then you get away with more than you should. That's great. But when the crazy girl goes, oh, you're crazier than I am. And it's like, well, yeah. Oh, how about we're equal, huh? Or the time that I walked outside after she did, and I didn't really know what she was doing, but she would always go outside about 3,000 times a day with the man just up and down the stairs over and over and over again. to do butt diving, which is where you smoke cigarettes that are on the ground from places. And I was like, don't do that. That sounds, you can afford them. Why would you do this? She's like, I'll save my money. And I'm like, why? Just buy it. Just buy a pack. I encourage it. Or when after, like, she wouldn't go to work for a while, and then she would go pick up food from the ground that would have ants on it. And
Ants and peanuts!
ants on the peanuts, and I would scold her for that. And I would be like, no, put it down. We are better than this. You don't have to do that. She was like, I thought you were going to tell me that you were proud of my can-do spirit, win at all costs kind of attitude. And I'm like, no, children know better than to pick up bugs and eat them. This is not as interesting as I thought it was going to be, having a recovering child actress living at my house. But anyway, I do a lot of weird things like that, which is how I ended up not having that house anymore, going back to my parents' house, which is a frequent theme of mine. Maybe it's the mental illness, John mentioned it there, but due to the Adderall shortage, I had to ask my dad for some of his Ritalin, because this shit runs in the family, this guy. My brother takes Strattera. I don't think that shit works. It doesn't work. It's a marketing scheme. He's man enough to not have to take the drugs, and he just does it. He just likes, being prescribed shit, whatever. My dad actually really fucking needs his drugs. But last night he gives me a couple of Ritalin, and then I went to light a match. After everyone's in bed, I lit a match to light a candle. And he runs downstairs because he thinks I'm trying to smoke the Ritalin, get the extra buzz off it. And I'm like, you can't do that, Dad. That's not, it doesn't even work like that. And he's like, well, why? You're the one doing it. You tell me how you do it. And I'm like, well, I can tell you how to abuse it faster, but that's just a match for a candle. What the hell? Why the hell would you light a candle? And it makes me think, why would I light a candle? I've no real, I don't know. I don't know. You're the one with fucking ADD. You should ask these questions of yourself. Because, man, but when you come and you can't have the Adderall anymore, and it is sad. I am going to be the post spokesman for this whole generation, whole movement of bring back the Adderall, bring back my amphetamines, please. Ritalin just isn't the same. It just doesn't count, even if it comes from your dad, which does make it a little more special, because it's like, here he is. So this is, it's only fair because he learned about Ritalin from me and my brother, and taking our pills and being like, hey, this shit works. Hey, it makes me do my homework better, and I'm better at my job, and I stopped getting yelled at so much. I can build a porch, But then I'd be like, Dad, where's our Ritalin at? And he's like, you don't need it for the summer, kids. It's fine. You need a vacation from it. It's okay. So, it's all fair, give and play here. I spent this afternoon and the last couple of days canvassing, but not in my normal way where I am a partisan hack that I polish the walls of city councilmen that really don't deserve it for money. Cheapest common denominator kind of thing. Darlene Harris I've done work for. It's a lot of, you feel like shit afterwards because you're like, wow, great, this is wonderful. But today I got to actually go out and canvass in support of the library, which is a big thing I'm really a fan of. Referendum for the library. We need to fund this stuff, guys. We fund it's the barest part of civilization. And if anybody goes, not library, nerd, just punch them in the face. Just punch them in the face. And make sure, don't ever fuck someone that thinks that reading is stupid. I don't care how, don't ever do it. Just, and the ironic part is he's illiterate too. He just understands how important it is, But you guys have been a very good crowd. Last month when I had my birthday show here, I brought a date that proceeded to fall asleep during the opening act. And about 4 or 5 performers in, Gab looks at me and she goes, she's still asleep when I go on, I'm using this. I'm like, oh, of course, you have to. It's there, take it, And I'm just like, oh Christ, there it goes. And then she woke up with everyone laughing and pointing at her during the program, which was great, which was hilarious. That's what you get for falling fucking asleep during that entire comedy show like that. And afterwards, I just wanted to get the fuck out of there, drop her off. And she's like, well, now that I had my nap, I'm raring to go. go do something else. And I'm gonna be like, no, you get to go home now. She's like, no, we can still go hang out. And I'm like, I know we don't have to do that, but that's okay. 31. That's when you start taking dates with narcoleptics, and you're like, maybe I should go back out with her again. She does have good cheekbones. Even though she did the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen anyone do in my entire life. And be like, hey, did anyone record your performance? You were there, you fucking bitch. You didn't see, you slept through all of it, and it was so exciting. But, you know, that's just me bitching about shit. And I could keep bitching about shit all night, because I'm on my Adderall. It doesn't tell me when to stop anymore. But that's why I'm going to end it right there and pass the mic back to John McIntyre. I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you.
Phil McCahill, ladies and gentlemen. He's out of his Adderall. He can single-handedly cure insomnia. Phil McCahill. Jesus fucking Christ. So, hey, I'm like really old. Do we have any other baby boomers in here, or are you all like Justin Bieber age? A couple like.
Yeah, I trained you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm going to wait for the feedback to end at the back. You know what happens is a lot of times the comedians get off the stage and then they go start talking to their friends, and their friends will start talking, and there's a big fucking noise. And then I get pissed and I take out the machine gun and fucking slaughter them all. And we gotta find all new comedians for next month, and it's a real pain in the ass. And you got dead comedian blood all over the place. The thing is, the city doesn't care. They don't care about dead comedians. And why should they? But I started to say this. Joe Frazier died last night. Joe Frazier. Fought all them fights with Muhammad Ali. Actually, as a side note, you realize we killed Muhammad Ali's distant cousin Chemical Ali in Iraq last year. He was like, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I killed all the Kurds because I'm Chemical Ali. Them Kurds is uglier than Joe Frazier. But this is what was killing me about Joe Frazier and all the obits. I'd forgotten how Muhammad Ali used to say all sorts of crazy shit about him to promote the fight. Mean shit. Muhammad Ali used to call Joe Frazier Uncle Tom. You remember that, Star?
Yes, I do.
That was bad enough, but then he called him a gorilla. It was in the obituary. I couldn't fucking believe it. I thought, what you could get away with in the 1960s and 70s? Can you imagine if two African-American entertainers today, one were to call the other a gorilla? If Wiz Khalifa were to call Kanye a gorilla? We would have one dead primate, ladies and gentlemen. One dead Homo sapien. And I bet you didn't even know Wiz Khalifa was gay, did you? It's a Homo sapien, Joe.